Shamrock Rovers Fan TV, and today I have my match preview for Shamrock Rovers against Cork City on the 31st of August in the second round of the FAI Cup. Now, to get to the second round, the Hoops received a bye in the first round, which meant they skipped the first round, and Cork beat Longford Town 1-0 in a dramatic last-minute winner in extra time. It was an incredible end to a game. Now, in the Cork's last game, they lost to Derry 3-1. They haven't had a good start to the season, or with the season shortened, it's not even a start. They haven't had a good season at all. We did play them at Tallaght Stadium in the league, and we won 6-0. Hopefully we can repeat that with Graham Burke getting 5 goals. It was an incredible game. Cork played really bad. Now, at the start of the season, I thought Cork would do a little bit better. They are starting to get into a bit of form. The game before Derry, they beat Sligo 3-0. I thought they were going to do well as they brought in some very, very good players. But it hasn't worked out for them. A lot of Cork City fans are Neil Fenn out. I think they should give him time. He hasn't been there for too long. He has brought in some very good players. Shane Darling, Dylan McGlade, Corey Galvin, some very, very good players. Joseph Olu, he's a very, very good player, and there's doubts of him playing the game. I don't know if he is going to play, and I hope he doesn't, because he's a very good player. He's on loan at Cork from Arsenal, so I think if he's out, it would be a massive upset for Cork. Now, on to my predicted lineup. I'm going with a 5-4-1. I did change up the formation in my last match preview, but we did so well against the Ilves that I think I'd keep with it. So in goal, Alan Manis has to be. He was very good. In the shootout, he wasn't, there was some penalties where maybe he should have saved them. He came very close to quite a few, but he's an all-round great goalkeeper. Now, at right wing back, I'm going with Ronan Finn, he did very well against Ilves. I think we're going to have to use the right-hand side so much in this game, because him down that right-hand side is frightening for defences. Now, at left wing-back, this could be a surprise. I'm going with Neil Ferrugia, who didn't have the best game against Ilves. I think the reason I'm putting him in is because Danny Lafferty, he doesn't have the pace that Ferrugia has, and Ferrugia did very well defensively against Ilves. It was just in the final third, he didn't have that flair about him, but Cork are very good out on the wing, so I think I play Neil Ferrugia because of the pace. But Danny Lafferty, I think, if a team isn't very fast, he could do the job. But I think in a 4 at the back, I think Lafferty would do a lot better than a 5. Now, the first centre-back, I'm going with Lee Grace, who I think he should play. He was out for the Ilves game. It's probably the only change that I think Stephen Bradley could make from the Ilves game, because Liam Scales did have a good game, don't get me wrong, but I think Lee Grace is on a different level to Liam Scales. Liam Scales is a super defender, and it just shows how good Lee Grace is, saying he's a different level to Scales, but Scales is a great defender. And beside him, Roberto Lopez, who else would it be to get the goal to make it 2-2? Roberto Lopez in Europe is so good. His goals, he scored quite a few goals from corners. He's so scary to goalkeepers when we have a corner. They need to nearly get 2 people marking him, and you need to get 2 very tall people, or even you need one shorter and one taller, because the goal he scored against Ilves just flicked it in. So I think they need people marking him because he could do anything from corners. And to finish the defence, Joey O'Brien has to be in it. What a player. Did so well against the Ilves, was the winner, scored 2 penalties. There's no way you can't include him in the squad. He was the right mid, who I don't think will play fully right mid. I think he'll come into the middle as the left mid, which I'll reveal my left mid in a minute. But Jack Byrne, it has to be. He had a good game against the Ilves, as everyone did. It's just he unluckily missed out on the Ireland squad, and I have a feeling he's a great player, but I have a feeling he'll do so much better now that he actually didn't, just to show Stephen Kenny that he's worth picking him, because he's a cracking player. I need to show Stephen Kenny that he is, and I think he will do it. So I think he has had good form, but I think it's going to pick up by a lot. And it's the left mid, Graham Burke, who did so well against the Ilves. Unfortunately, he had to come off because he received a yellow card. The referee wasn't great against the Ilves. he was dishing out loads of yellow cards for Rovers players, and they were tackles all right, fouls, but they weren't enough to give a yellow card. And even I'd take the yellow cards if he was consistent and he gave the Eves players yellow cards for doing the same. But they did stuff that was probably more likely of a yellow card than that, and he didn't give it to them, so he was very inconsistent. But Graham Burke, he got frustrated and he kicked the ball up in the air and he got a yellow, and it looked like he could be getting sent off because he was getting frustrated, which he was rightly so, but he lashed out a bit and unfortunately he had to come off. But some people have been giving it about Bradley taking him off, and some people might not know, but he was injured, and the reason Bradley's taking him off, he's trying to play him as much as he can, but he doesn't want to play him the 90 minutes, and just in case he gets injured. As the first centre midfielder, Gary O'Neill has to be. He did very well against Eves as well. Everyone did, as I said, but there's a couple of pictures of him winning the headers against taller players than him. He's a very good player. He does the work you don't see on camera, so I think he deserves to play. And beside him, Aaron McEneff, who I think will be a bit more forward than Gary will be. Aaron McEneff is something else. I think he probably could be up there for Player of the Year. He's a cracking player. Him, Jack Byrne are probably going to be up there, and Graham Burke. Our whole squad is very up there for Team of the Season. You could even, for Team of the Season, include our full squad, and I wouldn't say people would give out, because we have a great squad with some great players. And up front, Aaron Green, who, as I said in my other match preview, if you're going to play him in the middle, he needs to stay in the middle, and his pressing is something else when he stays there. So keep him in the middle. If you want him to drift down to the left, play him on the left, which unfortunately for him, we have Graham Burke, who plays on the left, which means he would miss out too. Burke can play striker, so you could swap them around, but I think I'd rather Graham Burke out on the left and Aaron Green up top. But if he's going to keep drifting out on the left, play him on the left, because he's worth playing, because he's a great player. Now, to get on to my score prediction, I think it'll be 3-1 Rovers. I think Jack Byrne will score. I think Roberto Lopez, and I think Gary O'Neill will get a goal. And for Cork, I think Alec Byrne might get a goal for them. He's a very good player, which we need to watch out for him as well. But I'm very excited going into this game. It is the last 16 of the Cup. It is only the second round, but the last 16. If we win it, we get into the quarterfinals, which means only 3 games until we could become the champions of the FAI Cup to retain our trophy that we have at the moment. It'd be great if we could win the Cup, but I think we need to focus on the league a bit more. Obviously, it would be great to get another trophy as well as the league, which we want the league. We haven't won it yet. We still need to put in 110% every game. And I expect the players to have a great performance against Cork. And I think Cork, they're a good team. They have some good players, but they have some weaknesses. And I think we should need to take advantage of them. Because if we show our weaknesses, which I don't know what our weaknesses are, if we have them, every team has their weakness. And if Cork find that out, they'll expose it. So we need to get an early goal, and that will kind of set the tone of the game. Now, before I end this video, I just want to say thanks so much for the support on the last video. It hit 1,000 views. It's on 1,300 at the moment. It's just incredible. Thank you to everyone. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Come on, the Hoops!